Uh-oh, Leo's ready. You gonna help me? I could use the help. Okay. Good evening and welcome to an event we're calling Still Connected, a presentation of the Center for World Networking. We, CFWN, are an educational nonprofit honoring diversity and unity among our community. You can find more information about our services and presentations by browsing the website or take a look at our bi-monthly newsletter, The Network, which is featured therein. Okay. We welcome contributions of spiritual or peace-oriented articles, poetry, and art to this newsletter. We also have a team of prayer practitioners available to support you during any challenges of your life. Please consult the online calendar at the website to see our upcoming events through the end of this year. Tonight, Still Connected offers a collage of creativity. 8 different artists will share a taste of their inspiration and work within the theme of how creativity can support our spirituality. Our offerings are quite diverse. We hope that you may not only enjoy our sharing, but be inspired as well. Perhaps find for yourself a new way to use an art form as a door to self-care. Perhaps even pick up a pen, a paintbrush, or a lump of clay. Open your heart to sing a song or write a few phrases of gratitude. Explore your curiosity or contemplate the great mysteries of life. I am Freesia, and I am so blessed to know each one of tonight's presenters personally and to call them friends. I'm also very fortunate, as are each one of us, to have the technical wisdom and support of my partner, Ray Shaffer. His expertise in all things digital makes this evening's program possible during a still limiting time in regards to gathering in groups. Tonight's event, as all CFWN events and presentations, is free to all. But we do welcome donations to support the services of our center. And tonight specifically, contributions will enhance our Season of Giving Fund. This fund gives both prayer support and monetary gifts to those in a temporary crisis. Over the last 3 years since we founded this particular part of our budget, recipients have included folks experiencing an acute health challenge, those who have lost their homes through natural disaster, and someone quite suddenly bereaved and struggling to cope with their loss, among others. Every dollar helps, so if you are able and inspired to, we welcome you to find the donate button on the website and make a contribution of your choice. Now I thank everyone who is tuning in from near and far to join us. You are sharing your time and your open mind and heart with us tonight, and we all appreciate it. First up in our performing lineup is Esther Francis. Esther is a lover of Mother Earth who holds a vision of us evolving into luminous human butterflies, leaving behind the caterpillar of consumerism and separation as we realize our unity and unique divine diversity. Esther is a poet, a songwriter and singer, a a storyteller, an eco-astrologer, and a joy dancer. She is accompanied tonight by her dear friend, multi-instrumentalist, musician, singer, and creative, Justin Case Mosley, known to many locals as Frogman. Welcome, Esther and Justin.
Cool. Good.
It's so good to be here. Thank you, Freesia. Justin and
Thank
I
you.
are so glad to be here to share. And um, the first offering is going to be called Violet. It is called Violet Flame. Freesia suggested that it would be beneficial if we correlated what we're sharing, our art form, with our spirituality. And my experience actually is that it is spirituality. That it, so many of my poems and my songs and my inspirations come in the wee hours of the morning or in the shower and when I'm in nature. And I always consider them that it is that connected voice with spirit that is unobscured by a lot of the daily things that allows that inspiration to flow through. So I want to share with you this one, Violet Flame. Mystical, magical violet flame. Bless my heart, bless my brain. Bless this earth, this precious land, wavy ocean, crystal sands. Every person, place, and thing, fish that swim, birds on wing. Bless the air, bless the sun, bless each heart to know the one. Feel with vivid ecstasy the joy of being you and me. Joy of freedom from all fear. Joy of loved ones far and near. Each can thrive and each can be in perfect divine majesty. In harmony with Mother Gaia, we prosper in the sacred fire. Heaven is here on earth when we know our holy worth. We are sovereign spirits flowing, awakening to our inner knowing, full of beauty, generous, kind, infused with the cosmic mind, filled with love light, filled with peace. We are the dove, we are complete. Called to love, it's not too late. We are wondrous, we are great. Every flower, every tree, emancipated humanity. Every cell, bee, and hive, it's a gift to be alive. Open your inner eyes, see beyond the earth and sky. Inner vision free once more. Move through that sacred door. Respect all species' right to be. Learn to live in harmony. All that lives, each sis and bro, in sky above and ground below. Sacred unity we are, with every tree and every star. In synergy without the sin, remembering we all are kin. Mystical, magical, violet flame, we're equal, but not the same. Thank you for your healing fire. We are blessed, filled with desire to live, thrive, serve, and be with the whole holy symphony. Bless us from head to toe, transform all our inner foes. Bless us to be a blessing. Blessed we see. This time is a gift within infinity. We wake up, sing, and dance. We are lovers in this cosmic romance. We are lovers, you and I, in this cosmic romance. Justin, wow, so beautiful. Wow.
Thank you.
So I consider that to be a prayer poem, invocation, and transmission. And I hope it ignited your love light and filled your heart. And the next is a song called Come to Your Senses. And here we go. War has been raging on our planet far too long. Violence, devastation shows something's going wrong. We are the peacemakers. We are the blessed ones. We are Gaia awakening. We're the marriage of moon and sun. Come to your senses. Come to your heart. Come to your senses. Celebrate our common heart. So that's the chorus. And we welcome you to join in with Justin when he echoes with the come. That's the second one in 3 lines. So please join in. Wish we could hear you, but you're welcome to come in here. Hatch your dreams from the nest of stillness. Heal your heart from grief and woe. Leave behind doubts and distractions. Steep yourself in the moment's flow. Harmony is deep listening. Harmony is more than sound. Harmony is many voices. Harmony goes round and round. Come to your senses. Come to your heart. Come to your senses. Celebrate our common heart. We've been told we don't matter. We've been told matter is stuff. We've been sold a bundle of nonsense. Now we're saying enough is enough. We're taking back our power, taking back our dignity, taking back our sacred matter, taking back our rainbow key, opening the door to greatness with the key found deep within, opening the silent treasure, beckoning, come in, come in. Come to your senses. Come to your heart. Come to your senses. Celebrate our common heart. 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 listening. And Justin, thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
to me in our co-creation. And now it's my pleasure to introduce a woman I deeply love and respect and admire. Bhavananda Lodkey is a fugitive dwelling within the cracks and fissures of the tangible and intangible worlds, exploring new levels of freedom, belonging, safety, and dignity, and unexplored areas of spirituality. She attends to and is guided by the ancestral and higher planes of existence, love, family, community, and God's great gift of nature. Bhavananda.
Let's see. Let me. Thank you, Esther. Well, we have a lot of cracks in the world, and over these last few years, I have been residing in the cracks, and even see myself as a crack, hanging out with all the messiness, the fragmentations, the unknowingness, the dismantling, the ruptures, the questions that have no answers. And realizing that maybe it's no longer about going straight, but maybe it's about zigzagging. Mhm. But what I have been doing and all the ways that I've been showing up is bringing a willingness and an openness and a passion to be present. And it's about living in my own skin. That's really what it's about. Being authentic and living in my own skin. And I've been exploring a lot about embodiment. And how do we embody what we seek, who we are, what we know, and what we become? Hmm? So, yesterday, for one moment, I considered shoving what I have planned to present this evening and just choreograph 10 minutes of music where we could dance and lean into and feel our bodies and rhythms from all around the world to the devotional. But then I heard this voice say, "Really, Bhavananda? Really? You're going to really go there?" So I'm not. I'm not going to go there this evening. But I invite you, if any of you have an interest, to have an evening in 2022 to move and be in music and have a Zoom evening. Let me know and let's do that. So I will be sharing two pieces that are adapted with my own languaging, and it's about sharing me and the unmasking of myself with you this evening. And one of the pieces is by Jeff Foster called The Shattering. And I love this piece because it's the voice of my own experience of annihilation or shattering that is freeing my container to become an invitation to the embodied self. And as one of my teachers, Bayo Okomo Lafe, says, in order to go forward, you must be willing to get lost. We must be willing to get lost. The other piece is a weaving of parts from Padraig Otuma, who is a poet and theologian, who brings interest in language, violence, social justice, and religion to his work. So, the shattering. Sometimes you don't get to be a Buddha. You don't get to be a Buddha. The Buddha crown, the Buddha space, we have to just drop it. We have to let go. Sometimes we just have to break, shatter, and feel. So that Buddha crown, if you don't get the Buddha crown, you don't get the Buddha space. And we know that crown would be emanating all kinds of light. And people would see the Buddha crown walking down the street and say, ah, the Buddha. But we got to let it go. We got to drop it. Because we just have to break and feel. You have to lose your precious awakening. You just have to be a human being, feeling. Sometimes old pains resurface, griefs, traumas, sorrows, the searing ache of the abandoned child, the rage of the forgotten universe. And suddenly, all of our spiritual insights crumble. And all the beautiful spiritual words by the beautiful spiritual teachers, all the concepts, the ideas about enlightenment and awakening, and the pure perfection of the pure untainted awareness, and the selfless non-self, and the path and the guru. They're all meaningless, empty words, secondhand drivel, gone, disappeared. What's real now, right now, is the burning in the belly, the fire in the heart, the unavoidable, intense, so alive, so present. Sometimes you just have to feel. You have no choice. And sense your feet on the ground, rooted and connected deep into nature. Sometimes you just have to be with your feelings and breathe into the discomfort and trust, and maybe trust that you don't trust right now. And take it moment by moment, by moment, by moment, and know that nothing is working against you. And awaken from the dream of how this moment should be. And throw away all the secondhand ideas about the path. Sometimes your spirituality has to shatter so you can finally realize the deeper spirituality. A spirituality of feeling, of presence. A spirituality of feet on the ground. And the sounds of birds singing in the distance. Of music, of laughter, the grandeur of nature. And how she shifts and changes and alters our moods and even our lives in her dance. The spirituality of a child's innocence at play, our pets with their devotion. The spirituality that holds unanswerable questions. The spirituality of our hearts that on any given day open and close like bird wings. Sometimes you don't get to be a Buddha. No Buddha crown, no Buddha crown. Sometimes it's the spirituality of the total, total surrender to this precious, precious moment. We need stories. We need stories of belonging that move us towards each other, not from each other. Ways of being human that open up possibilities of being alive together. Ways of navigating our differences that deepen our curiosity, that deepen our friendships, that deepen our capacity to disagree, that deepen the argument of being alive. This is what we need. This is what I need. This is what will save us. This is the work of peace. This is the work of imagination. So, my friends, let's pick up all the stones that we stumble over and build altars. Build altars. Let us listen to the sound of our breath in our body. Listen to our voices, our names, our fears, and let us claw ourselves out of these graves we have dug and lick the earth off our fingers and look up and look out and look around. Because the world is big and wide and wonderful and wicked. And our lives are murky, magnificent, malleable, messy, and so full of meaning. Oramus is a Latin word, or oremus, and it means let us pray. It's an invitation. So I say, Oramus, let us pray. Let us laugh. Let us dance. Let us put our feet solid on the ground. And let us capture those spontaneous eruptions, those rapturous moments of grace that I call joy. Yes, thank you. And it's great to be here with all of you. And we will segue into Freesia. And I'd like to share a little bit about Freesia. She was born and raised in upstate New York, but has lived in Santa Cruz long enough that she feels herself a Californian. Although she's always loved music and played instruments as a youth, she rarely sang within earshot of anyone until a cancer diagnosis in the mid-1980s that shook her heart and mind wide opening. We talk about a shattering. Remind me that life is fragile and short. The life she knew prior to that time disintegrated within just a few minutes, a few months. I could even say a few minutes, but a few months. And an amazing teacher guided her healing and inspired within her songs a comfort, praise, and hope, as well as the courage to sing them out loud. Freesia finds immersion in the beauty of nature and as well in creative pursuits, both precious tools for achieving peace and balance amidst challenging times. Hence the inspiration for this evening. Yay. She recently survived another brush with mortality, a condition called Guillain-Barré syndrome. So Freesia is now writing a memoir about her journey from being paralyzed and on a ventilator back to functional life, noting the darkness and blessings she met along the way. Yeah. And on a lighter note, her most recent creative project was the painting and restoration of her cozy kitchen, an achievement of her long-held goal to regain the mobility, stamina, and dexterity with which she was able to do so. So I bow in my kin sister, Freesia. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhavananda. So tonight I have 2 songs to share, and Ray is going to be joining me in a moment. Once he's sure the technology is working and that you can see me, hi, you will also see him. So I'd like to introduce my first piece. It's not unusual when feeling blue or overwhelmed to head for a favorite place in nature. And for me, that is most often the forest. One day, when I was feeling quite out of balance over some issue or another in my life, I headed for a long walk on a fire road in neighboring Loch Lomond Park. As I was descending a steep section of this trail, something made me stop abruptly and turn around. I was then looking at a very, very tall and slender tree that was completely bent over, the canopy touching the forest floor on one side of the trail and its roots clinging to the earth on the other side of the trail. Distracted in my painful musings, I had passed right under this arched tree without noticing at first. It was as if spirit stopped me in my tracks so as not to miss the metaphor. So as I stared there in kind of amazement, really, at this unusual position of the tree, I realized it was completely representative of how I felt that day and a few times since. And this song came through during the rest of my walk. There's kind of a very easy chorus section. So as Esther invited us all earlier, and I was singing with you, Esther, I invite you all to sing along when you hear the easily repeatable part. The weight of the world has pulled me down, an oak tree humbled by the wind, but with you by my side, I can lift my head high and find my strength again. I'm still connected, still connected. My roots go down into this blessed earth. I'm still connected, still connected to the source of my rebirth. I'm still connected, still connected. My roots go down into this blessed earth. I'm still connected, still connected to the source of my rebirth. I've climbed the mountain high and then I fall back down. Life's joy and mystery abounds. But when I reach my limit, I seek your guidance in it, so I can stand on firmer ground. Your turn. Pulled me down, an oak tree humbled by the wind. But with you by my side, I can lift my head high, and I can find my strength again. I'm still connected, still connected. My roots go down into this blessed earth. We're still connected, still connected to the source of our, the source of our, source of our rebirth. Thank you, Ray. Thank you for listening. All right. I have one more piece. I'm just kind of shaking because we actually got through that. All right. Yay for coconut water. Among the ways that I do feel connected through songwriting is having tangible remembrance of loved ones who have passed over. It's a tender blessing to feel their energy, their character, and their heart once again in their song after their form is gone. This has occurred a few times for me, and I cherish each one as a lifetime treasure. Larry Gale was a potter, a man of service, and a joyful brother in the Dances of Universal Peace community. The Dances of Universal Peace is a type of prayer in motion, which I deeply enjoy. On the day that Larry left his body, many of his friends were notified rather quickly, so as to hold him in prayer for the highest good during his transition. I remember sitting quietly in this room at the dining table and addressing him directly, saying, "Larry, do you have a message for us as you leave us, my friend?" And the answer came quickly and filled my heart with a comforting presence. So this is Larry's song. Every day I see the sun rise. Every day that I am blessed to open my eyes, and every day that you would have me walk upon this earth is a gift, a rebirth. Every day I see the sun rise. Every day I am blessed to open my eyes, and every day that you would have me walk upon this earth is a gift, a rebirth. And there are stories, and there are dreams to share, and some that will be released. There's so much glory upon this earth we care for, and many paths to peace. There are stories, and we'll have dreams to share, but some must be released. There's so much glory upon this earth we care for, and many paths to peace. And every day I see the sun rise. Every day that I am blessed to open my eyes, and every day that you would have me walk rebirth. It's a gift. Thank you so much. That was a gift. Thank you, sweetie. Wow. So nice. Ray will be back at the end of our program with something quite different. And now it's my good pleasure to introduce my friend Penelope. Upon retiring from many years of service with local children as a classroom and homeschool teacher, Penelope rediscovered her passion for pottery. She finds it a magical outlet for creativity and an opportunity to integrate spiritual practice, the 5 elements, and sacred Tibetan Buddhist symbols. She loves getting her hands full of clay and immersing her mind, body, and spirit in a realm spinning with infinite possibilities. Penelope's creativity and love are also expressed as an avid gardener at her home in South Santa Cruz County, where she lives with her husband, her sweet little dog Jack, and there together they operate a beautiful Airbnb retreat space. Thank you so much, Penelope, for saying yes. Here she is.
Yes, well, thank you so much, Freesia, for inviting me. I feel very blessed to be here this evening. And I would like to begin, since I think most of us have been sitting for a while. I'm just going to invite us for a mindful moment of stretching. I'm going to ring a bell. I invite you to stand and stretch and take a few deep breaths before I begin. And now I'd like to share with you one of my favorite Gata verses from Thich Nhat Hanh, which I oftentimes recite when I first sit down at the potter's wheel. And it goes something like this. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in this wonderful moment, or dwelling in this present moment, I know it is a wonderful moment. And a wonderful moment indeed to have this opportunity to share with you my inspiration for both my work with pottery and my practice with Tibetan Buddhism and connecting with nature. And so I'd like to just share with you 2 of my main inspirations. The first one coming from a Tibetan seed syllable. And the seed syllable in print would look like this, okay? And the sound of that syllable is ah. And it's considered one of the primordial sounds, similar to Om, but it's actually a symbol of the primal state of the spirit. It is actually the feminine aspect, the mother fully expressed in divine wisdom. It is also the unborn, a state of being that is without thought. It is the essential state of emptiness. And it is like taking the Prajnaparamita Heart Sutra and condensing it into one sound. And Prajnaparamita is one of the deities in Tibetan Buddhism. She's considered the mother of all the Buddhas, and a very important, well, she's considered the perfection of wisdom. So this is a very meaningful deity, and it's also a very meaningful sound. The sound ah actually reflects the whole 8,000 page Heart Sutra that can be condensed into a shortened version, but the very shortest version is the sound ah. So I'd like to begin by inviting us all to take another deep breath, and if you feel comfortable, just exhaling with the sound of ah. So taking a deep, full breath. Ah. So thank you for that. I love beginning that way because it fills me with fresh air and fresh enthusiasm for what I want to share with you this evening. And so this particular symbol I have actually integrated into some of my artwork. And I have a vase here that I've filled with leaves, another one of my favorite symbols from nature. And there is the seed syllable ah on the vase right there. So I love having this around me, just to remind me of that sound and of the wisdom of the sacred feminine. And so I also, when I turned 70, I decided I wanted to give some gifts away and for my pottery. So I handmade pendants, and they have the seed syllable on one side. I don't know if you can see that. And then on the other side is an imprint of a Bodhi leaf. And the Bodhi leaf is another important symbol in Buddhism. It's actually from the Bodhi tree. And the Bodhi tree or wisdom tree is the world tree. And its roots drink deep of the waters of infinity. Its branches and leaves blow in the winds of the void, and it is lit by the clear light. It is a tree of refuge, a place of safety from raging tigers and dragons of desire. This world tree, the Bodhi tree, unites all worlds, and it has no guardians to protect it. All sentient beings are welcome to gain as much wisdom as their minds can hold. So speaking of leaves, I've been working on a piece here that I wanted to share with you. It's actually been waiting for me for quite a long time at the clay studio. I actually work at a place called Clay Creation in Santa Cruz. And what I've done with this one, it's going to be an urn, and it's going to have a lid for it. It did get a little bumped around in the car when I brought it home. But nevertheless, I'll have to, the thing about clay is it can be very forgiving. So what I've done here so far is I've pressed the leaves into the softened clay, and then earlier today I took some, it's a mixture of ongob, which is a type of coloring that gets mixed with clay to create what's called a slip. And I'll show you, this is just such a fun part. I just love working with clay and with mud. It's so fluid, and it's, when things are first made, it's kind of like they're in the chrysalis form, and then they get fired and they come out like butterflies in a more solid, transformed piece. So what I do is I just very carefully go over and I press the leaves in, and then the leaves are actually used as a stencil. Are you able to see that well enough? Okay. So I'm just to give you an idea of what I did earlier today, and what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to show you they're just about ready to be peeled off. And that's one of my favorite parts, is when the imprint of the leaf and the shape of the leaf is left on the pot. Okay, so that that part happens first, and then I come back and very carefully, if everything goes well and the slip doesn't get under the leaf, we just peel this off and voila. Just do a couple of these. Oops, the stem came off, so here's where I need one of my handy dandy pencil tools. And we just lift this under here. See if that will. The trick is to, there we go. So that gives you kind of an idea of how images from nature can be integrated into pottery. And so here's a finished product of what that might look like depending on the glazes that I use. And all of these leaves came from Fall Creek. I was on a hike, and there's red leaf maple and there's polypody ferns in this particular piece. So next I wanted to just show you a piece that shows some of the other Tibetan Buddhist symbols. If these are, first of all, this is also an urn. I went through a stage where I was doing a lot of urns, and then I use a similar technique where I use a slip on top of clay, but then I've actually tooled design, and I've integrated some of the symbols that reflect the 5 elements and also reflect the 5 hindrances, and how, and these are representatives of energies that can be transformed into enlightened wisdom. So if it's anger, it gets transformed into mirror-like wisdom. And I won't go into all the details of that, but what I love to do is use those symbols, put them in the pottery. These are sort of camouflaged in there. And so this is one of those times when I'll just be sitting at the wheel or sitting with a piece in front of me, and all of a sudden it'll just come to me. This can be used as a vehicle for as a reflection for some very significant symbols in my practice. And let's see, I just have to check the time here. I think my time is just about up. I have several other pieces, but we'll have to save those for next time. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you for being here together and celebrating creativity. I'm so happy to be here, and thanks for listening. May all beings benefit. And next, I'd like to introduce Armando Alcaraz. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And I actually had the pleasure of going to an event with Armando, and it's been several years, and I was so happy to see that I got to introduce you. Armando is a composer, a musician, a writer, and a workshop facilitator. He uses original music for his events. And Armando teaches meditation and communication through the language of music, both as a metaphor and as a practice for transformation, integration, and healing. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. That was really wonderful, Penelope. It's like for me, a lot of this about spirituality is, and an art is like art kind of really fills me with, or the writing or the music really fills me with life in a way. I often, like sometimes I get headaches. Earlier today, I had a headache, and just playing music, I find helps me lift the headache. And I kind of sensed when I was hearing Penelope speak, I was just really sensing that energy of the clay and how she was transmitting that, even like just showing the artwork. So thank you for that, and kind of it's a nice segue into how I think about spirituality and music, and and for me, spirituality is a lot of this. It is a, and of course there is the imagery and the we have different systems of spirituality, and for me, a lot of it is that raw energy that somehow like it comes into being through a language, and so part of what I explore is the language of music, and how that energy of life comes into being through this language. So you're welcome to take a deep breath. Can you be with this breath just as it comes? Can you be with this body, this brick and this wall? Can you be with the story playing in your head? Can you be with the pain you believe you can't bear? Can you be with the sounds of the night and the day, with the warmth of the sun and all that you crave? Can you be with this grass, every sting of each blade? Can you be with the ocean so vast and so great? Can you be with this heart fluttering and flying away? Can you be with this love, what it sings, one cries, what it says? Can you bawl, can you be, can you be, can you be? Above all, can you be, can you be, can you be? Can you be with this breath just as it comes? Can you be with this body, this brick and this wall? Can you be with the story playing in your head? Can you be with the pain you believe you can't bear? Can you be with the sounds and the night and the day, with the warmth of the sun and all that you crave? Can you be with this grass, every sting of each blade? Can you be with the ocean so vast and so great? Can you be with this heart fluttering and flying away? Can you be with this love, what it sings and cries, what it says? Above all, can you be, can you be, can you be? Above all, can you be, can you be, can you be? So a lot of this is, these songs, I often write them as a way to just kind of remind myself of going inward. And sometimes in my work, what I do is I just play music and help guide people inward. And and I do this. I've been doing this lately because of the pandemic. I've been doing it on Instagram. So every Thursday at 8, I'm there. If you want to log in, and I do a little meditation, a little reading, and sometimes I do a song. And some of the songs that I've written over the years. This other song, actually, I co-wrote. I wrote first one version, and I brought it to Danusha, and Danusha was like, I don't know about this. So she put in her stamp in it, and I really liked the result. And it also has like a, like in the last song, is can we be with how things are in the moment? And I think for me, from my own spiritual path, is this acceptance of where I am, and who I am, and just kind of meeting the moment. And part of this acceptance comes with the understanding that things change, and this is based on a Buddhist teaching. It changes, the song. So it's just like a reminder of this teaching. This body, now old, it was once new. I am not my thoughts, like the wind they blow through. I am not my feelings, they change with the news. I'm not what I see, I'm not this point of view. It changes when I move. It changes when I move. Who sees through these eyes? Who hears through these ears? Who's the one who dreams, and who's the one who fears? It changes. It changes, it changes, it changes. This body, now old, it was once new. I'm not my thoughts, like the wind they blow through. I am not my feelings, they change with the news. I'm not what I see, I'm not this point of view. It changes. It changes, it changes when I move. Who sees through these eyes? Who hears through these ears? Who's the one who dreams, and who's the one who fears? It changes, it changes. It changes, it changes. It's great being here. Thank you for having me and inviting me. And I want to introduce the next speaker, who's right beside me here. And I want to introduce my wife, Danusha Laméris. So she's the author of 2 books, The Moons of August from Autumn House Press, Bonfire Opera from Pit Poetry, and which was the winner. We were very excited about that, of the 2021 Northern California Book Award, and in poetry. And so and she, she also wants something that she's doing lately. She's co-leading this amazing webinar called Poetry of Resilience with James Cruz, a very sweet and amazing editor. He publishes all this anthologies of poetry, and both of them are doing this series of webinars that are they bring other poets, and they talk about poetry and life in a way that is really, really moving and highly recommended. And she lives with me in a barn. We do live in a barn, and she loves to plant flowers, and she loves the pollinators, and that's something I can attest to. She spends a lot of time with them. So thank you, and welcome, Danusha.
Thank you, sweetie. And thank you, everybody, for creating this magic here tonight. I'm so grateful to our little community at the Center for World Networking, and to Ray and Freesia for helping bring us together, even though we're apart. We're making it happen somehow. I'm still feeling everybody out there. So I hope that you're taking this in and being fed by it on this really cozy night. At least where we are here in Santa Cruz, it is raining, which is always the most welcome thing and most welcome sound. So I like starting with a little invocation poem that I wrote that's only 8 lines long. I like the way poems hold what the poet Jean Hirschfield recently called mineral knowledges. Just those little particles of knowledge that we can so easily lose. And somehow the poem kind of holds those for us. And that's something I've been thinking about lately. So it's a poem about the heart. The heart is not a pocket, a thing that can be turned inside out by anybody's hand. Not a place for pebbles or loose change, not to carry old receipts. It does not tear at the seam. It doesn't have a seam. It cannot be torn. It doesn't have a seam. It cannot be torn. So that's that little piece of mineral knowledge that I like to, and I discover them. I guess that's part of the writing process, is I discover the little piece that I'm seeking by writing. I was talking with the son of the poet William Stafford, who's also a fine poet, Kim Stafford. And he said one of his students said to him, "The muse comes to the moving pen." And I loved that. And I guess if you're a potter, it comes to the moving hands, or a musician. But the muse comes to those of us who are engaged in our art, in the process of it. And the muse meets us in that place. I wanted to read next a poem that I didn't write. It was written by the late and magnificent Hannah Block. But I thought about it because Bhavananda was talking about fragments. How do we face our fragmentation and our brokenness? And then we were looking at Penelope's pottery. And I thought of this poem called The Joins, that is about the art of kintsugi, which she says in her epigraph. Kintsugi is the Japanese art of mending precious pottery with gold. So you take the broken thing and you mend those cracks with gold. And this is her poem about that. It can be read as a poem of a marriage or relationship, and it can be read of our larger relationship to self or God. But here it is, the joins. What's between us often seems flexible as the webbing between forefinger and thumb. Seems flexible, but it's not. What's between us is made of clay. Like any cup on the shelf, it shatters easily. Repair becomes the task. We glue the wounded edges with tentative fingers. Scar tissue is visible history. The cup, more precious to us, because we saved it. In the art of kintsugi, a potter repairing a broken cup would sprinkle the resin with powdered gold. Sometimes the joins are so exquisite. They say the potter may have broken the cup just so he could mend it. I love those lines. Sometimes the potter may have broken the cup just so he could mend it. So, carrying that bit of mineral knowledge in my heart tonight. And if you want to read more Hannah Block, I think that's from her book, The Moon is Almost Full. She died some years ago of cancer and wrote so beautifully about it. I really recommend that book, as well as her book, Swimming in the Rain. So just good. I got to read with her and meet her and was so blessed to be able to do that. Really wise and wonderful woman. I never know what I'm going to do exactly here. So let's see. I don't know if I've read this poem in our little community, but it's to Krishna. Have I read my poem to Krishna to all of you? Maybe not. Freesia's saying no, so I'm going to do it. It's a little poem called Edible. And it has to do with a lot of things. It's about food, but it's also about going to see Chris on his deathbed, which was a very sacred experience. I feel also very blessed to have heard his wisdom in those moments, the window that he offered. So that's in here too. And in this poem, he's Christopher because he of many names. It's called Edible. We want it all. Potatoes pulled up from under their poison foliage. The artichoke's heart scraped clean. The tender bodies of crustaceans broken from their calcified shells. Saffron stamens plucked from the crocus's center. Bark of cinnamon trees. Slow sugar tapped from the maple. The golden vomit of bees. Pride from its waxen vaults. Even for some, the delicate crunch of crickets or hind legs of lamb, still tinged with blood. The world is such an unexpected feast. I think of my friend Christopher, who, when he found himself dying early one spring, kept telling us how this was the best part, the letting go. As if in his hunger, he'd somehow broken into death's core, torn off the husk, the brittle shell, found inside the succulent heart, and savored it. So that's for Krishna, because I know he is still with us and a part of this community. And what a gift to see someone dying a good death. I think that's what I want to say about that. And I also want to say that Armando is one of the people that eats crickets. I just want to add that. Um, I think I'll read one more poem, also a small one. This is the night of the uh, hors d'oeuvre, tapas. And it's a sonnet, actually. I was surprised to write a little sonnet called What Begins. I don't know that I need to introduce it more than that. So, and a sonnet, I guess I'll say a sonnet is often a bit of an argument with oneself or with the world. Um, and I think this counts as that. It's a bit of a debate. What begins? What begins in beauty ends in beauty. What begins in sorrow ends in sorrow. The seed once planted, soon in full bloom. If grief, then grief. If anger, anger. They say the first week of any love affair reveals its end. Give me the child at 7, and so forth. And didn't the world begin with a bang? Hard to argue for another truth. But I have seen a heart worn thin take to small repairs. Have watched a blue jay born wild eat out of a woman's hand. And didn't we begin as tadpoles curled and gilled? I want to think the starting place is only one location on a curve that we can follow to another end and then begin again. So thank you all for listening to those little amuse-bouche poems. That's what they felt like tonight. And thank you again to all the presenters here and to all those out there taking this in. It's my privilege to introduce Antonina, who I'm going to change my screen view so I can actually see her. There she is. Who we get to hear next. Antonina is a Santa Cruz-based singer-songwriter and choral singer who weaves folk, women's vocal harmonies, and world music, and also with a pinch of a cappella, a dash of blues, and jazz. So many different flavors, spiritual and natural seasonings. She cooks up a savory feast of truly unique music and released her second album, Heart of All That Matters, in January 2020. Several songs featured the poetry of Bonnie Doon resident Suzanne Morrow, set to music by Antonina, and she's very grateful for Suzanne's insight, wisdom, inspiration, and collaboration. We all know that collaborations yield some of the most interesting and vibrant art. Antonina says, "The music is within me. The music is medicine. I feel the music journeying through my soul as my blood courses through my body, essential, life-giving, nourishing, nurturing, sustaining. I am the music, and the music is me." So please join me in welcoming Antonina Hines.
Thank you very much, Danusha. This is a lovely evening. I'm so honored to be part of it. I'm going to share a couple of songs with you this evening, original songs, and reflecting on spirituality and creativity. When I started this last songwriting project that created the album, I set the intention to cultivate a deeper connection with spirit and creativity in a pure and uncluttered way. So I decided, well, that doesn't have to be just for that project. That can be for always. So this song is called Fertility of Stillness, and a local poet named Kai Seidenberg was reciting one of her poems. And she had this line in there that said, "To trust in the fertility of stillness." And I just went, what? Wow. I got to write that down. So the first line in this song is Kai's words, "May we trust in the fertility of stillness," and then the rest are mine. So I hope you enjoy it. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 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 oh. May we trust in the fertility of all the stillness. May we know it now, welcome us to its deep unknown. May we believe the truth that growth starts in darkness. May we know stillness brings us home. Pausing, waiting, wondering, trusting, resting, so greeting, embracing fecundity, stopping so we can go. Cease doing and just allow this dark yet warm embrace. Not worthy for what we produce, we only have to be. Celebrate in the quietness, sink down into this place. Serene tranquility, now we're truly free. Pausing, waiting, wondering, trusting, resting, so greeting, embracing fecundity, stopping so we can go. Savor this tasty flavor, thrive in being alive, delight day and night, revive, not just survive. Let love guide us in the night, not moving or yearning, going deep, infinitely, stillness and peace. Fertile soil, so dark and rich, all things returning, no striving, arriving, trusting in release. Waiting, wondering, trusting, resting, so greeting, embracing fecundity, stopping so we can go. May we believe the truth that growth starts in darkness. May we know stillness brings us home, brings us home, brings us home. Oh, 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 Thank you. That's the debut of that song, so honored to be sharing it with you all. This next song is called Beginning Anew, and it's the only song I wrote in 2020. I was busy working, being an essential worker, and I was doing creative things, just didn't write a whole song. And this one was inspired by the theme of expansion. Welcome, welcome, welcoming, welcome, welcome, welcoming, welcome, welcome, welcoming you. Welcome, welcome, welcoming, welcome, welcome, welcoming, welcome, welcome, welcoming you. Welcome, oh great spirit, right here close to me. Welcome, oh great spirit, I am willing, I am free. Open, open, opening, open, open, opening, open, open, opening to you. Open, open, opening, open, open, opening, open, open, opening to you. Open to your laughter, open to your light, open to your vision, guides me through the night. Begin, begin, beginning, begin, begin, beginning, begin, begin, beginning anew. Begin, begin, beginning, begin, begin, beginning, begin, begin, beginning anew. Now a new beginning, expansion all around. Now a new beginning, from sky down to the ground. Return, return, returning, return, return, returning, return, return, returning to you. Return, return, returning, return, return, returning, return, return, returning to you. Return to your comfort. Now I can see nature and nurture. Your love flows through me. Open, open, opening, open, open, opening, open, open, opening to you. Begin, begin, beginning, begin, begin, beginning, begin, begin, beginning anew, anew, with you, anew. Thank you. It is my honor and privilege to introduce our headliner for the evening, if there is such a thing, Ray Shaffer. He is a singer-songwriter and multi-instrumentalist. Let me pull this up so I can, there we go. Ray Shaffer is a singer-songwriter and multi-instrumentalist who gives a unique voice to spirituality and the inner journey. Since as far back as 1977, he has formed many original bands, comprised of his music, playing keyboards and guitar and bass. He is also a recording engineer and aids in the recording and production of many talented local musicians in his private home studio. Ray's original music can be heard at his website, rayshaffer.com. That's Ray, SHAFFER.com. Ray is the webmaster and technical advisor for the Center for World Networking and has brought the organization and the teachings upon which it is founded to the internet world. His skills and willingness have been crucial to the center's continued service during the pandemic months, assisting in broadcasting many events through Zoom and YouTube, such as the one you are enjoying now. I'd like to introduce Ray Shaffer.
Hi.
So thanks for coming tonight. And this is a big experiment here based on creativity, of course. Freesia had asked me what I felt about creativity, and I said that it's kind of like going on vacation. It's just the whole world disappears, all the work and everything is gone, and you're just with yourself and God. And that's what creativity is to me. And so hopefully I can go on vacation with you tonight. We'll see. Give me a second here. So I really didn't have time to check levels here, so hopefully this will be fine. I'm gonna just warm up a little before I get into the song. and I want to be the one. I know what you're thinking of. Will I be the one to stay in love with? Be the one to stay in love. Be the one to stay in love with you. Stay in love with you. Stay in love with you. I wanna stay in love. Oh, 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 oh. Stay in love with you.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Well, folks, now you see how the magic happens. That was a lot of fun. So now it's time to, we're going to bring in a screen of everyone. Is that what you're going to do?
If it works, there we go.
Let's try to bring in the whole cast of presenters for the evening.
I think it's working.
And this is all quite experimental tonight. And while Ray's doing that, I'm going to
Yep, it worked.
Again say thank you to all of the presenters who generously gave their time and put up with my many emails saying, please do this and please do that and thank you, thank you, thank you. We also want to remind anyone viewing our fun tonight that we would love and appreciate donations to support our Season of Giving project, which helps individuals in temporary crisis with both prayer support and financial contributions. So if you're in a position and your heart is inspired to contribute, that would just be so lovely. And if not, you're so welcome and we're glad you're here. Anyway, but you would just look for a donate button on our website, cfwn.org, and contributions there will support Season of Giving project. Some of our artists have projects that you can enjoy in the near future or distant future. look for work by Danusha in print or her workshops. Bhavananda has a wonderful show coming up on November 21st in Santa Cruz, and part of a lovely presentation including classical music and her inspired readings. Penelope's work is available, her pottery, some of it, is available for sale, and you can look her up, Penelope Burton, for that. Esther appears on Facebook Live quite often. Armando teaches wonderful workshops, as you heard earlier, and is available for hire as a musician. And Antonina has a great CD, The Heart of All That Matters. So we're all available for you to consider connecting with down in the future. And other than that, I just want to say thank you. This was more wonderful, beautiful, and diverse than I even dreamed. So thank you, everyone.
Goodbye. Bye.
Good night.